Hey yo, it's your boy Bump Jonas here, representing for Sprinkle Some Salt. Bonjour famille. What we're doing right now, we're gonna take some time. It's your boy, we in the fucking studio, we in the lab, excuse my French. I'm talking with
Conor Chillout.
man. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna grab him, we're gonna, make sure we find out what he's about, what he's doing. I don't know if we're in between sessions or about to go into a session, but we wanna catch him like in their element. That's what we're doing here today. So first of all, appreciate you for being here with me, man.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Conor Chillout, man. So how'd you get that name?
For real, it was just my boy, SCB the Don. He gave me that tag one day. We were in the studio just, chilling, shooting the shit. And he was just like, bro, your beats are heavy. You need to chill out. And then he said it on the mic like Conor Chillout, and it just stuck.
So is he the tag?
Yeah, he was the original tag. Then, I got my boy Mighty Casual on there. But now I got my girl. She does it because a female voice kind of sound hard.
Everybody loves a little female voice. That makes it, and it's different because I know some cats been doing like the kid voice back in the day, and then like
or like the pitched up voice.
Yeah,
they do the stutters, all that.
Plus, kudos to you for bringing your girl in, right? Keeping it in the family. You feel me?
If y'all heard the original file, y'all laugh.
All right, so I'm sure I've asked you this before, and you're probably tired of this question, but producer versus beat maker, what's the difference?
Man, that's a heavy question. In my eyes, though, a beat maker is just a guy who's cooking up the beats, not really leaving his studio, getting in there, working with the artists. Producers out there tapping in with the artists, tailoring the beats to fit what they need, and then working with the audio engineer too. I mean, but it can get deeper than that because there's lots of levels of production.
And that's where you fall in, though, right? Because you. Like, not only do you make the beats, but you're part of the whole production, the engineering aspect, all of that, right?
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. Like, I love getting heavily involved in all stages of it, from the instrumental to working with the artist, recording the vocals and getting those sounding right. I try my hardest on the mixing and mastering, too, because I love finishing a product, too.
Okay. So you basically, like, I'm from the South, so we would say rooted to the tutor. You start the end, like you're all in the mix.
Gotta get involved. Okay. But I'm accustomed to handing it off to other people too. We got Els in here with us.
EmeraldDreamsLab, right?
Emerald Dreams, that's his studio. I love handing records to him.
So speaking of handing records, like we were talking before we got started here, we were doing some backstage talking. Like, you spend a lot of your time basically in the lab on a beat making music, right? So talk to us a little bit what happens after. Like, you've recorded it, you're done, you've mixed it, you've handed it off. What are you doing after that?
I like to chill out with family. Family's my focus. I got my girl at home. We just moved in together, so we're focusing on that. My parents live in town. We just got a brand new puppy at the house, so when I'm out the studio, my mind's off it, and I'm just focused on family.
Okay, all right. So that's really where you are, is family and music.
Family and music, those are the two most important things.
So I got to pick on you because we were talking about this off camera, but like, what are some interests of yours outside of music?
Oh, I know, he was bro, and I've been thinking since you asked me too, baseball. Okay. I like baseball. Okay. Even though I said I wasn't really a sports guy.
Right.
I like baseball.
Okay. Is that because like baseball is like you just grow up with it? It's kind of default.
And my dad played it, so it's like an easy connecting point for us. So I try to stay with that. Let's see, video games. I like playing video games. I'm gonna be honest about that. And man, other than that, I just nerd out about audio engineering stuff.
Right. That's the one. Yeah. That's the one. This man in Els will get lost for an hour on just gear talk.
This like an adult toy for real. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So,
all right. So, have you ever had? Actually, I want to go back real quick.
Nah, you good.
Worst beat ever made that you recall?
Maybe one of my first beats, bro. I had no idea about music theory. I didn't know how beats were made. I'm not really that creative from the jump.
You're crazy.
But
we hear your beats, so
maybe
take that back. But okay.
maybe the beat under Rickroll. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that shit is like an earworm, and it gets in your ear, and I just hate it so much.
Okay. So that was the kicker was the earworm part.
Yeah.
Right?
If it really gets caught in there, I get annoyed.
That's now. I would imagine for a producer or a beat maker, or even an engineer, that's dangerous, right? Because it'll start off dope. like, man, this is a good sample or this is a dope rhythm, and then it hits that earworm point where you're like, you know what, I don't need to hear this shit.
Yeah, and that's why.
How do you navigate that?
Well, I try to stay interested in multiple projects at the same time, so I don't get ear fatigue.
Oh, okay.
Basically, like work on a song or a project until I'm a little tired, and then take a break. Try not to push it too hard.
Take a step back, go home, hang out with the family.
Yeah,
smoke with the dog. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had a situation? Actually, no. Let's put it this way. Let me rephrase this.
I've had plenty of situations. I'm gonna put it that way.
Conor, chill out. So, when you're making beats, do you ever have a scenario where the beat turns out like it ends up being intended for a rapper or for singers? You know what I mean? Like you're going in a rhythm, you're like, yo, this is actually more melodic. This is gonna be R&B. Do you have those kind of scenarios?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time I'll sit down to produce something and it goes in a complete different direction. But the key is knowing where you're going with it and making sure you end up at that destination. So if I'm trying to cook a trap beat and then all of a sudden I cut the BPM down and it turns into an R&B joint, I got to switch my mental over to that mode.
Speaking of switches, how do you feel about, like, recently? I know Hit Boy was doing it through KD3, and he's actually been good at it, but I've noticed a lot of beats and projects lately have had that beat switch or that switch up. So what's your take on that?
I love a good beat switch, man.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of ways to do it. I love how producers have been coming out with new ways of doing beat switches. You know, Pierre Bourne's one of my favorite producers right now. And he's
like old school now, right?
Yeah, I know.
In a way, I know no disrespect, but
real talk, he's like old school now.
So okay, hold on. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like,
no, you're good.
I mean, when it comes to MCing and rapping and hip hop in that realm, like there's OGs, right, and like elder statesmen of hip hop and things like that. So when it comes to production or beat making, who are some OGs?
Some OGs: Dre, Dilla. Ooh, now you put me on the spot here for real. Yeah, man. You know, I know 3 6 Mafia. I really fuck with some of their beats. I came from listening to a lot of down south rap when I was younger.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be straight up honest. I don't know a lot of the production names, but that chopped and screwed, that slowed down, dirty drums, that's what I love.
Shout out DJ Screw.
Yeah, DJ Screw. Come on.
All right now. So, do you listen? Okay, so because you're a producer, you're an engineer, you're a beat maker, you're a full package, right? So when you're out and about in the world and you're listening to, music, elevator music, commercials and shit, do you listen to them a little bit differently or?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get my bag right, so I'm trying to pick apart what makes those go on there, so I can. You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, y'all. All right, so I guess I would say now, but I want to touch back a little bit in your past. Like who is or was your music mentor in terms of getting started and kind of just like, yo, I can do this.
Right. Honestly, probably my boy Ronald. He's from KC here. He's a producer himself. Also a civil engineer, works for MoDOT. Shout out MoDOT, Yeah, he was the one who got me into it after college. I'd always had a passion for music, but he pulled me aside and was like, you can make beats if you want to. And he would just have me over. We'd make beats on his laptop.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Eventually, I got it on mine. And from there, I'd say, I found the studio here at Emerald Dreams, and Els has been taking care of me as a mentor ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you literally had like a journeyman trial by fire kind of process, right? Like, yo, here, sit with me, figure this out, or learn together with somebody, and then.
Yeah.
So are you self-taught then? Is that?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I went to college, marketing degree. Wasn't really rocking with that world when I got into it, so I got out of that real quick. Did the home recording for like 3-4 years, with everybody. That got me in the mode, and then once I wound up here, I kicked it into overdrive.
It was just like, yo, let's go.
got official learn Pro Tools, you know, how to work on analog gear, took a couple courses.
So okay,
That's
so
serious.
then it's more than self-taught. You invested in actual classroom study time and
A
stuff
little
like
bit,
that.
yeah. But
Okay.
that's more recently, and I encourage producers to do that once they've got a basic understanding of, you know, what they're doing, basically, how to
Hey,
operate their DAW.
shameless plug here at Emerald Dreams Lab. They have classes available.
We
Talk to
do.
Els. They'll get you set up. They'll get you right.
Pro Tools courses, Logic courses, we got it all here.
Boom. Speaking of, that's a great segue, man. Shout out to you, man. He should be a
Mr.
DJ,
Segue.
man. He Mr. Segue. But like, so walk us. On one hand, I want you to walk us through a session, but before you do that, talk to us a little bit about the day to day here at Emerald Dreams Lab. Like, what's it like when you walk in the door?
Sure. You know, it's changing from year to year as this music industry is. You know, it's ever evolving. But right now, it's basically you walk in the door here. We get everything powered up and running here. We shoot some content in the morning. I'm usually making beats. By the afternoon, we have our first client roll through here. The door's shut in here, and that session gets rolling. You know, normally Eddie or somebody else is out there shooting content.
Oh shit! So you got multiple things going at once.
Yeah, we try to keep basically as many people here as possible and the energy high, so
Yeah.
you know things are just rolling.
So when that's happening, like how do you navigate and stay focused? You know what I mean? Like how do you?
Yeah, and it's hard too because honestly, like I don't have ADHD, but my mind is all over the place.
Right.
But yeah, I just think it's like it's the years of experience that I've had, so I know what I'm doing and I know what the client wants. So I'm really professional and I focus on the client, the artist. Basically, that's what you have to do. You just focus.
Focus on that job at hand, like what they
Yeah.
need, what they want, what's happening, what you're feeling and vibing on.
Because if you do everything right as you're recording and tracking, the mixing and the song and everything else later on will fall in line. So as long as I'm doing my job correctly here, and I know what I'm doing and how to execute, you know, everything else will fall in line.
So do you have like, I don't want to say like not a bucket list, but have you been starstruck with an artist that you or client that you work with that you weren't expecting? Like, oh my God, this guy's dope.
Not yet, but that just might be, you know, because we're in Kansas City right now. I have worked with some people who have blown me away, really blown me away. You know, people who are big and little too.
Right.
And I think that's what I look for. It's not really a starstruck thing for me because I know we're here to work and be professional. It's really what you bring in the booth. And, you know, if we connect and I'm blown away, I'm going to go a mile for you, basically.
Now, well, I want to get into that because little do y'all know, this cat, I don't know that you've actually done like, you know, one-off beat. Like almost every artist that I hear from him or that I hear with him working with, he's worked the whole project. You're like a full project guy.
I get selfish with the production. A little
He's
bit.
like the Mad Lib of the Midwest in that sense, man, of KC. I don't know, man. So like how did that come about? Was it organic or was it intentional or?
Yeah, no, it was organic. It all came from, you know, my brothers basically live by the bag, you know, SCB the Don, Mighty Casual. We came up together and I was just making their beats for fun at first and everybody got a lot more serious. And so I think, you know, we were working off each other and that gave me the opportunity to produce entire projects for these artists.
So it was 100% organic. It was just like, dude, let's go.
It was just from hanging out every day and knowing what they want and then building a catalog and it working together.
And you guys are a family. So have you branched out into outside artists then yet?
Hell yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. And that's why I work here. You know, I love the networking opportunity it gives me. I worked with probably 100 artists this year.
Damn.
And that's up from last year, you know, so we're moving in the right direction and it's nice touching hands with everybody. And I shout out to all of y'all. I appreciate y'all for, you know, messing with me.
So, all right, how do you deal with feedback or critique from a client? And
That's a great question, man.
And I mean, and I want to touch on both angles, right? Because you got to take it, but then you also got to give it too, right? So talk to us a little bit about how you accept feedback from a client or an artist.
And I want to say that's something that I'm still working on. You know, there's the communication between an artist and an engineer is very delicate, you know, because when you're in here creating, ego is a big part of the game. on both ends.
Right.
I'll be the first to admit it. But yeah, I'm just working on being more professional with them. It's about creating a comfortable space for the artist first and foremost, establishing a connection next,
Right.
and then really letting them drive the conversation, actually, in my eyes. And I think it's different for every engineer. As a person, you have to find your style, but I let them drive the conversation, and I take what they're telling me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that goes back to your focus on the artist anyway. You know, like you kind of dial in on what they're looking for, what they're needing,
and that was something I was really bad at. I would say even a year ago. Like I would think I knew what they wanted, so I would overstep my boundaries. But that's something I'm pulling back on, because a lot of the times I've learned that artists will tell you something that sounds crazy, but then you start doing it and it just makes sense.
Works.
And it works.
So he's like, hey, fuck it, let's go.
I learned so much from artists just being like, okay, all right, yeah, let me shut up.
So, okay, do you have any, and this is going to sound like an awkward question because you, by nature of what you do, you're behind the scenes. But
Sure.
you see a lot up front anyway. So do you have any tips for creatives when it comes to performance anxiety?
Ooh, not really. I'm really bad with performance anxiety. Honestly, you just got to rip it off like a Band-Aid and do it a bunch of times, and you'll get comfortable at it. That's it. The first 10 times are going to suck, and that's that.
Just say fucking go for it, huh?
Yeah, because ultimately, you got to decide if you really want it. And if you really want it, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're going to have to be in front of people.
And some of them are going to tell you that you suck.
Yeah, some of them are mean. Some of them will talk behind your back, but it's all good. You basically, like, rule number one of being an adult, don't care what other people think of you, you know?
Salt all over the place, man. All right, so I got a couple more questions, man. I appreciate your time. Because of, again, the nature of what you do, you tend to fit a lot of different roles, and you got to wear a lot of different hats, and you're going to try and mesh with whatever that client is looking for, right? So, but generally, can you describe your sound to us? What's the Conor Chillout sound?
The Conor Chillout sound. Definitely a piano in there. Definitely piano. A little faster with some trap drums. That's me. That's what I always go for.
Okay, so melodic, fast with trap drums.
Yeah.
All right, we fuck with that. We fuck with that, right?
I wish I could say something else, but that's what I always end up making.
Nah, man, keep it real, keep it authentic. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, back in the day, Kanye was always sped up soul samples, right?
That shit was so hard though.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and I came from playing the piano when I was younger, so that's why I think I incorporate it so much.
Okay, I wanted to. That was a question I had. Like, I know you play piano. Do you have any other instruments that you play?
Not really. The drums, kind of.
Okay.
But my rhythm really sucks. You know what I mean? That's why we got beat sequencers nowadays. And for the life of me, I can't figure out the guitar.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Something doesn't.
That was another question. Like, is there an instrument that you really want to be able to play?
The guitar.
Okay.
I'd love to. But I'm cool being able to play the piano. I mean, you can express so much with it.
Hey, that's a highly sought after skill. People love pianos, and you can stop folks anywhere for any reason. Just start playing the key, so
they'll love it. Yeah.
All right, a couple more here, man, and then I'll get you back to work. I know you got a session coming.
I appreciate the interview. This is fun.
So what does success look like for you?
Ooh, I like that question. Because I think it's different for everybody, right? For me, it's being comfortable and happy, well fed. I love my food.
Gotta like to eat.
Yeah, bro. I'll be putting on the weight nowadays. But yeah, I think it just means being able to do what you love continuously, live comfortably within your means, whatever that means for you, and be surrounded by family. Because if you're alone, I don't know if that's successful.
You know, that is a good question. I almost got tongue tied on that one because of the whole fact, like, sometimes we grind alone, right? And so, but it's kind of like, what are you grinding for if it's just you at the end of the day?
I worry about that sometimes, like the amount of time I spend with my family too, as opposed to grinding. You know, am I grinding too much? Am I not going to eventually spend time with them? Or,
right.
You know, that
you don't
balance.
want the Scrooge McDuck episode or effect to happen. So, like, speaking of success and grinding, what's the benchmark or sign for you from Conor Chillout's perspective? What's the benchmark or sign that says, yo, I can quit my day job?
Well, I did that, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Are we sprinkling salt? Was it?
Yeah, I probably quit before I should have, but I thank God I was surrounded by people that motivated me, that got me to the point where I could live that, and thankfully I am living that. The benchmarker, though, you'll know it. It's when your side hustle takes over your life and you're actually making more money than your day job. When you hit that money marker of, okay, I can pay my rent, that's cool, but just go for a little bit more.
Okay.
Just a little bit more, and you'll have spending money, because that's what you need to operate in this. You need a little bit of cash flow.
You gotta get past the margins, y'all. Like you hit the mark, cool. Now take it
a little farther.
6-7 months, a year past that mark, and you're secure.
And I quit right at the margin, and that shit was hard.
Okay.
And
he was excited.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. It was a bad work situation, and I don't need to get into it or want to, but I took that jump, and you'll know when the time is. Sometimes you have to go early.
So that might have been the right time for you.
Oh, it
you know
was.
What I'm saying? Like, it was like, yo, we got to do something else.
My mental health was falling apart, and was what I was talking about with the marketing world earlier. I just didn't fit in.
That wasn't for you. Okay.
And immediately when I stepped out, life changed, bro. But you got to be ready for that. You got to know when the time.
Plan, be ready, be prepared, and just, be fearless at the same time. You gotta step out there.
And have a little bit of bread saved up. Just a little bit. Have a little bit.
Couple loaves. Because
you're going to spend it.
So, if you were an artist today, and I don't mean to say that you're not an artist, but
Sure.
if you were, a performing artist, what would your stage name be?
God, they got ridiculous names nowadays. Be like, oh man, Lil Thotty or something, something ridiculous. It's got to be brandable. Lil something for sure.
Lil Thotty, the bag chaser, or something like that.
No, I'm keeping it short.
Just Lil Thotty.
Lil Thotty. People are gonna be like, "Why the hell is Conor Lil Thotty?" That's exactly why.
Hey, that's a tag. Why the hell is Conor Lil Thotty? Anyway. All right, man.
Name.
Hey, just on the way out of here, I got 2 quick questions for you on the way out.
I'm not good on the spot like that, bub.
AI in music, artificial intelligence in music. What are your thoughts on that, right? Like, we had the AI in art a couple weeks ago come out, and then there was the FN Mecca guy not too long ago. That went away. But what's your thoughts? What's your take on artificial intelligence in music?
I'd also love to hear your take on it too, to be honest. But I think there's going to be a place for it in the future, whether or not I want there to be or anybody else. I think there's going to be a place, but there's always going to be a space for human, interaction in music. So I don't think it's going to take over. I think it's a bit of a gimmick right now, but we'll see how it goes. And honestly, some of the AI I've seen already is pretty cool.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't want to go too far into it, but like the FN Mecca dude, aside from the whole just appropriation aspect, it's like, yo, this is crazy. This is ill.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild what a computer can do.
And it's interesting, you know what I mean? But yeah.
I do think I will say that I think that we're gonna see AI in commercial use more. I think
we already have. We just don't know it.
Yeah, probably.
We already are. Like, if we're not seeing it on our streaming and our TV stuff like that, we're definitely seeing it. Like online on social media. There's already fake online AI.
Some of those
stuff.
fake videos look really bad, but I guarantee you in 5 years they're gonna look crazy.
Yeah, they look cringy now, but after a while, the deep fakes. I don't want to go Alex Jones. Never mind. But
No.
All right, so here we go. On the way out. Actually, hold on. I should answer your AI question.
Yeah, please, because I really do want to know.
And this will be my only hot take of the scenario. But honestly, I think when it comes to AI, it is a gimmicky tool that's put out there by the industry to circumvent the fact that artists are figuring their way out of 360 deals and they're figuring their way out of streaming. Artists are being more independent minded and more hustle and business minded. So they're not just, horses in a stable.
And so, scare 'em.
You know what I'm saying? So the AI is another tool, and I'll wrap it up. I think if artists in general keep pushing in that ownership aspect and build their own framework, the AI will just be their tool and not the industry's tool. But right now, it's more of a tool built to replace the artist, so they don't have to negotiate anymore. That's my take on it.
I'm with that.
So, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, on the way out, and I appreciate your time,
Thank
Conor
you.
Chillout, what would you say are your greatest strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going to use some corporate shit today.
My strengths are that I am well versed in many aspects of producing a record, from making a beat to mixing and mastering to tracking. That's definitely a strength. I can play the piano, and I'm pretty nice. I like to have a good time.
Pretty nice.
The bad part about that is I'm kind of nice, so I'm a bit of a pushover. Also, I don't take criticism that well. Working on that. And man, I'm not that in tune with sports and pop culture, so sometimes I feel like I miss out on these bars that y'all be spitting. Sometimes they go over my head. I'm gonna be honest.
That's a tough one though, because somebody be like, "Yo, I just spit hot fire." You're like,
Do you know how many times I've asked artists? I'll be like, "What did you just say?" And he'll break it down for me, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. We're cool." Bro, that's definitely a weakness.
bro, you gotta get your pop culture up, man.
I know.
I feel you on
I've been
that.
in the lab a little too much.
Hey, yeah, come on, man. Step out the lab a little bit. Yo, that's all we got for this afternoon, y'all. I appreciate the hell out of your time, sir.
Yeah.
Speaking of being in the lab, we're going to get up out of here. We're going to get him out of here before his next session, get you some fresh air. We'll holler at y'all next time, man. Appreciate you so much, sir.
Appreciate you, Bum. Thank
Anything you want to say on the way out, boss?
you. Man, we got a 2023 winter beat auction coming to Emerald Dream Labs here. It's going to be Friday the 23rd this January. So any producers, if y'all are interested in signing up, just DM me. We got a $30 entry fee.
Yo, tap in. If you think you got some heat with the beat, come up and see what happens. Yo.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first, second, and last. But once again, it's your boy Bump Jonas. Just had a great conversation with
Conor Chillout.
We're here at Emerald Dreams Lab doing our thing. As I wrap this up, I just want to remind y'all again, if you're looking to make content, if you're looking to go viral, if you're looking to lay down tracks, wax, or any kind of thing, and you just want to get out there, come down to Emerald Dreams Lab. They will get you right. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to sound dope. They
Pull
got
up.
all of them.
Yes, sir.
He said pull up. All right, man. Appreciate you so much, man.
All right,
Holla
thank
at you
you, Bum.
again.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.